Hello and welcome. Kerry here from Healing Humanity, the power of a proper human diet. And we are thankful, grateful, blessed to welcome you all tonight to our Thursday night Carnivore Live Q&A. We're going to have some fun. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to do some giveaways. And before we jump into things, I just want to say real quick, we're going to be giving away a Healing Humanity shirt in blue. And we ran out of time last week, so start posting your questions right away. Post your best question with hashtag ribeye. We are not doctors. We're not giving medical advice, but we'll do our best to answer your questions or point you in the right direction. And besides your best question, also consider sharing your story of healing with hashtag ribeye, which will also qualify you to win. You have to post it with hashtag ribeye, and you have to make sure that you are following Adam at Carnivore Today, Ashley, Carnivore Brothers, Lynn, Midlife Carnivore, and No Carb Barb, and I have links to each of their YouTube channels in the description below. In order to win, you have to make sure you're subscribed to each of them. Adam, Lynn, Barb, Ashley, how's it going?
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Oh, great.
Guys ready to answer some questions?
We're ready.
Let's do it.
Before we jump into that, we got a big announcement, I think, right, Ashley? What do we got going on? Some breaking news today, I think.
Breaking news, hot off the press. We need that news alert or something. No, we've got our Charleston, South Carolina meetup advertised right behind me. Links also in the description. That's on February 21st, coming up, a couple weeks. But the news is we got a few more added to the list. There they are. I was going to duck my head, but there they are. Dr. Kiltz, Dr. Nelson, welcome to the party. We're super excited to have you on board. They're always so amazing at answering questions. And since none of us are the actual doctors to give medical advice, they are always so gracious to share their knowledge. And it's always a blessing to have them at any of our meetups. So super excited about that. Hope you'll join us. If you're in the South Carolina area or any of the neighboring states, come on out. It's going to be a great time. February 21st. Get your tickets online at healinghumanity.events. Sorry, healinghumanity.movie/events.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Join us there. And I've got one other quick announcement. I am going to be with Jenny Middich viewing and Adam's coming too now, breaking news, viewing the cholesterol code in Schaumburg, Illinois. New documentary by Dave Feldman. Looks incredible. And we're doing that on Monday, April 13th. So come join myself, Adam, Jenny. There's going to be some other special guests there as well. Jen's coming with also. I think I have a link in the description. If not, just Google cholesterol code Schaumburg, Illinois, and it should come right up.
Kerry,
What else? Do we have one more announcement?
I noticed just on that carnivore or on that cholesterol code announcement, I noticed one in our area too, in DFW in April as well. So if you're not in that area, look on your Facebook groups and different things. You may see some other notifications for that being shown in other theaters in your area.
Love it. All right. And one more announcement. Meat Stock, Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I can't find my little banner image. What the heck happened to it?
Well,
Adam, can you remind me, when is Meat Stock?
Meat Stock is May 1st through the 3rd, I believe. Is that right, Barb?
That is right. Sorry, I'm not Barb. Barb may be frozen, actually. It looks like.
I think Barb is frozen. We have a statue of Barb.
That is right.
Okay.
Gatlinburg, Tennessee. All of the good doctors are going to be there. Healing Humanity is going to be there. We're all going to be there. Come join us. Meatstockconvention.com. And if you use promo code Healing Humanity, I believe you get $50 off your ticket. If there's any tickets left, I wouldn't wait any longer if you're thinking about joining us out there. All right, should we jump into some questions?
Sure.
Here we go. First question is from.
Are we gonna do the tell them what to hashtag for the drawing?
Oh, I kind of did that.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag ribeye. Hashtag ribeye. And we're going to be giving away a Healing Humanity shirt in color blue with the best question or testimony. All right. Linda says, has anyone heard of anyone's bulging disc healing on Carnivore?
I haven't heard of a bulging disc, but I did a long time ago. I interviewed David Reed on my channel, and he had before and after CT scan results from degenerative discs, where his discs actually showed that they were growing back. And this was 3 discs in his spine. I have had a herniated disc myself in my neck before, so I know that there's time is definitely important when it comes to the disc, and of course getting, the physical therapy and whatever you need, but it can help with the pain because it will help with inflammation, because I know it's really painful, and if you can decrease your inflammation, but I don't think there's necessarily a guarantee that it's going to completely heal it. That just takes time.
Good stuff. We got a couple of new members. Thank you for that. Audette.
Awesome.
And Debbie.
That was courtesy of Pa Beater.
And there it is, Pa Beater. Thank you so much. Gifted 5 Homestead How memberships. Really appreciate that, Bob. You're too generous. We do a members-only live stream every Thursday at 3 p.m. and all of the proceeds, 100% from my memberships, go to the Healing Humanity Project. So thank you so much for that.
That's always one of my favorite calls of the week. I got to say, it's always been a good one, but ever since Jen's been joining you, it's next level. So love that call.
Appreciate it. And that's been a lot of fun lately. And Bill Knott's been jumping on in the chat on most of them too. So yeah, come join us if you'd like. Penny has a question. I don't know if anyone on the panel here, who to direct this one to. Anyone have sciatic pain? Has sciatic pain been healed on a carnivore diet along with stretching, chiropractic care, and massage? ?
I think this kind of falls in the same line with the bulging disc, because it's a anatomical issue. It has to do with your spine. So usually with sciatic pain, it can be a couple different things, but if your spine is impinging on your sciatic nerve, then getting rid of inflammation will help, but it's not necessarily going to stop that impingement. And so I think I don't know if any of you guys have heard of anybody like completely healing sciatic pain. I've actually heard people seeing improvement, but I think it really does depend on what the source is.
Yeah. Lots of back pain, and you hit the nail on the head with, the inflammation clears up. So that's a big piece of it, with a lot of the pain that can help, but I don't know specific to the sciatic nerve and the bulging disc that was earlier.
As with anything, taking a multifactorial approach, do the chiropractic, do the stretching, do the massage, make sure you have a good diet to promote healing, and put yourself in the best position you can for healing.
Yeah. I had sciatic pain amongst many of my health issues and ailments before carnivore. I had one sciatic flare-up on carnivore, and it was minor compared to what I've experienced in the past. There's some really good YouTube videos out there for stretches for sciatic pain, and there were a couple I found. There was one in particular I remember, the tennis ball. So look up the tennis ball stretching kind of thing. That really helped me out.
But if it can improve the disc density, it could. And I'm not saying it will, but because I know from David Reed that it can happen. If it could improve your disc density, it could potentially over time take pressure off of that nerve.
All right. We got a question from Booby Goats. #ribeye. How is everyone tonight? I want to start with
Fantastic
Barb.
now that you're here, baby.
Well, I heard Barb just got back from a cruise. How are you doing, Barb?
Are you back, Barb?
No, I'm actually on a cruise. So hi, Aaron. I'm doing fantastic. That's why I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're holding on.
Yeah, your Wi-Fi might be a little choppy tonight.
Maybe a little bit, but definitely a first world problem.
Right.
Yeah.
I can definitely say I have been so busy and so tired because we're finally gearing up for our move. We got our 28-acre property and we are packing our house up, and the actual move is going to be while I'm in South Carolina. It got pushed out 2 weeks. And so I consulted with my family and said, you guys want me to stay home or what? And they said, as long as we're packed, go ahead and go. So I've got a lot of pressure ferociously trying to get the house packed up.
Oh no, that's never fun.
Yeah, hopefully it's the last move ever. I hope.
Right. All right. And we have a question from Melissa. Here's a question for Adam. Can people actually be allergic to beef? My worst nightmare, by the way.
Yeah.
I know 2 women with health issues, but I feel like they wouldn't give carnivore a chance because of supposed allergies.
Well, this is a great question, Melissa. So there is a condition called alpha-gal syndrome that makes people have an allergic type reaction to beef. So yes, that is an actual thing, but you're not like beef itself is not going to cause an allergic reaction unless you have this syndrome. So if they had the syndrome, chances are they're probably going to know it. They're going to have to go to the doctor to, diagnose it and try to figure out what's going on. But there are other complications potentially with eating beef on a carnivore diet or any meat that is aged or has a higher histamine content that can make you have a reaction that seems like an allergic reaction. So I definitely want to pass this one on to Lynn to talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's acute intermittent porphyria that is a contraindication to eating a carnivore diet. People will know if they have that, and it's not common at all. And again, the alpha-gal is from getting bitten by a tick that's carrying that. And I would definitely connect with Emily Penton's channel. She has found some therapies that have allowed her to start eating beef again, which is a pretty amazing, this needling technique that she got done. But I would definitely say if people have issues with beef, it may or may not be an allergy, it may be an aversion, but I wouldn't say not to do carnivore because of that. If you even eat other types of meat and fish, and you're going to be better off than eating the standard American diet. And definitely connect with Jen, because Jen had her meat aversion and she was able to find a way to be carnivore even with a meat aversion. But if it's a true allergy and there is really an allergic reaction, then just maybe encourage them to do a non-beef form of carnivore, because it's still going to be better for their health.
All right, good stuff. Oh, here's a fun question. Going to get in trouble on this one. How much fermented food do you need to eat daily?
You'll take that one.
Yeah, I'll give that one to Ashley.
No, you take that one.
I would say everybody's different. You probably don't need to eat any in terms of what do you need to eat. I went carnivore for almost 1,000 days before having any fermented food. Depending on your gut, there's some people that need more healing. So me, for example, I had Barrett's esophagus. I had bleeding ulcers. I had months and months of antibiotics. And so I found a benefit to adding some fermented foods. For me, I literally have about a spoonful of homemade El Ruderai yogurt that I make myself. So just a little bit of fermented dairy. That's it. Like literally a spoonful. It's not like I'm eating bowls of it. So, but I guess just to be clear, because the way you phrase it, how much do you need? I feel like most carnivores I talk to don't need it. It's more of like a preference. Maybe this helps and levels things up. For me, I didn't need it. Like I found almost all of my healing by eating a proper human diet, but I feel like this just took it up a couple extra notches that I didn't think were there. So
yeah. And I can't have the fermented foods because they're high histamine. And so it really depends. Like Kerry said, it's very individual. And so I've been almost 3 years now carnivore, and I haven't had any fermented foods, and my gut it feels amazing.
All right. Hey, we got a super chat from Chris Stearns. Thank you, Chris. I haven't read this one yet, but it's going to be interesting and fun. I know that for sure. A little off topic, but my question is, when is Adam finally going to do something? Hello, my friends. Just a little money for the series in the future. Hashtag ribeye. Thank you so much, Chris.
Love you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
The Healing Humanity series, we appreciate it for sure.
The answer is never.
Let's go, Adam.
I'm
Sitting
sure
there in Florida, soaking up the sun, eating ice cream with Dr. Kiltz. Come on, let's go.
I'm watching the Dolphins right now. Sorry.
Watching the dolphins frolic in the warm water. Meanwhile, my pipes are freezing back here around the corner, and my teeth are chattering.
I don't know. Much deserved break.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Chris. Paul Clark said, have you seen Kelly Hogan's video on ChatGPT before and after age progression? Eye-opening. I love Kelly Hogan. I haven't seen this video, though. Anyone here seen this one?
No, I didn't see that.
Have to check it out. Let us know in the chat if anyone else has seen Kelly Hogan's video. Age progression. Sounds cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Post your best question with hashtag ribeye. We always end up getting them all at the very end, and then we feel bad because we can't keep up with them. We need a couple more right now. We have a comment from Becky, Jesus and Carnivore. I'm saving my money for Montello on my summer trip to Montana meetup, Idaho, and Washington. Lynn, how far away from Olympia?
Right now, a couple hours north of Olympia, and we are moving an additional 45-minute drive. Well, from the highway, probably another 30 minutes. So factor 2.5 hours maybe from Olympia.
All right.
But we could definitely meet. If you're going to be in Washington, let me know.
Here's a question. On day 6 of refeeding after a 37-day water fast. Wow.
Holy moly.
Is there a better way to prepare my body to go back to carnivore? That's a long fast. I've never done one that long. Anyone here have any thoughts on a 37-day fast and refeeding afterwards?
I'm just going to say, Tex, you probably have us all beat on that one. I don't know that any of us have gone quite that long. I know
Becky has done 40, even though we haven't. I know Becky in the chat.
Who's in the chat, yeah.
40, yeah.
And Dr. Nelson, I think what's his 21, I think is his, or something like that. So, yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
I would start with
Broth. You need to be the expert on that one and tell everybody else how you did it.
Yeah, I would start with broth.
Yeah,
go slow. Yeah. So I don't know, Barb, what do you think?
Yeah, that would be bone broth or maybe some collagen. Just very, very slowly get your body used to taking in nutrients again. A lot of times people end up with a lot of digestive upset. I mean, but that is an extremely long fast. And so kudos to you for doing that. But I would say take it slow.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of gut rest. And so the gut, you don't want to put too much on it at once. Give your gut a chance to wake up.
That's amazing, though. Congratulations. That's incredible. Mention that autophagy, that healing's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hey, it's our friend Lori, Carnivore Cheer. I'm grateful that I have never had a problem with eating meat. The only problem was that my addiction to carbs and sugar pushed meat out of the way.
So true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a good question. Maybe I'll throw this one to Ashley. We got a meat question. What is the best alternative to ribeye if you love steak and need to spend a little bit less on steak?
Yeah, well, for sure, a good go-to is the chuck eye. You can get that on a chuck roast. You can cut that. And Lori, I know Kerry's done a few videos. I've done a video, but you can actually, in the grocery store, if you kind of learn what to look for too, you can find that piece of chuck eye roast when they cut it off. It comes right off the end of that ribeye. And so it's very, very similar to a ribeye, and often $4.99 a pound, $5.99 a pound, much, much less expensive. So I would say that for sure is a good go-to on a chuck roast. And cut it. A lot of times they're 2 inches thick, so you can cut them in half or into 3 and make multiple steaks out of it.
That's a great tip, especially if you get a good eye for it and you look at, because like you said, it's like the neighbor of the ribeye right there, and you're paying just a fraction of the price. If you need more too, Lori, Ashley's done some videos on it. Another video I saw recently was from Laura Spath, and I think it was like it was all about chuck roast, and it was really about like what to look for in the different chuck roasts when you're in the grocery store. It was a really good video. chuck roast is one of my favorites.
How many ways can you cook chuck roast, Kerry?
I've done 6 in one video, but I think there's probably many, many more. Tammy, Alex, our friend Tammy says, Kerry, when are we going to do a meetup in Wisconsin? Soon. Honestly, it probably will be soon. I know everyone keeps asking, and I sound like a broken record, but we are this close on the documentary. Our editor, John, has been absolutely incredible. And what is it, Adam? Like tomorrow or something like that? I think tomorrow or the next day.
I'm praying really hard, and you probably should too.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
He's going to be giving Adam and myself the final cut with the color grading and sound and everything. So we're really close. Long story short, after that, we're going to be making some big announcements very soon. And one of them will be eventually when we're premiering it and doing a big meetup here in Wisconsin. So would love to have you out there for that, Tammy, for sure. Here's a question. New to carnivore, what is your take on cream cheese? Barb, do you do cream cheese?
I do not do cream cheese. I don't do well with dairy at all. So cream cheese is delicious, and especially starting out on carnivore, eat the foods that you enjoy. And then as you progress, if you find out that that causes you issues or you want to cut it out and see how you feel, then do it. But I say, make it an easy transition. And if you like cream cheese, leave it in to begin with.
I agree. I never think anyone who's starting should be restricting their carnivore foods, because you're in the process of getting over eating carbs. And there's so much going on from a psychological standpoint when you're making that transition, and also just from a physiological standpoint. So I always advise people to eat any carnivore food you want at the beginning, just to help you make that transition and to make it something that you feel like you can sustain.
Yeah, and actually I want to add, it will maybe help you eat enough. Sometimes when people go carnivore, they find that the meat and everything is so satiating that they actually don't eat enough calories and ended up tanking their metabolism. So keeping that in to begin with may open up your appetite and make sure that you're really nourishing your body.
Yeah. But also, like, if you're dealing with food noise and in the evening, and we just talked about this on our Zoom call, but fat in the evening, if you're, because it's important not to necessarily just do it because you have cravings, but if you're experiencing cravings, making sure you eat some fat in the evening will help with the cravings. And so it seems weird to, put some butter in your mouth, let it dissolve, but that actually will help.
Good stuff. All right, our next question. Oh, we're going to be doing a drawing in just a minute for a Healing Humanity shirt. So make sure to post your best question with hashtag ribeye. Here's a question. How long should the shifting pain oxalate dumping in detox continue after months? Do I need to redo meals that have hidden nasties?
Everything that I've read is that oxalate dumping can continue off and on for quite a few years, unfortunately. And I don't know if there's really any way around that except just to have your diet as clean as you can, but be ready for it to happen. And, drink plenty of fluids, you will get through it. I don't know. Adam, do you have any other thoughts on that one?
Yeah, basically, pretty much everything you said. Everybody's going to be different. There's people that have had oxalate dumping that started and it was gone in a month. Mm-hmm. Other people still claim that even after 5 years, it's still happening. So it really just kind of depends what your diet was before, how well your physiology is fixing itself and your metabolic health, how far along things are coming with you. And obviously it's going to be a big part in what you're fueling your body with, but there are ways to sort of throttle it. The dumping, definitely recommend Sally Norton's book, Toxic Superfoods. She gives some tips in there that I'm sure that I definitely will have forgotten since I've read that book. But there's definitely some really good pointers in there. That
But you can drink some green tea potentially. Like if you're experiencing oxalate dumping and it's really affecting you, the thing to do is have something with oxalate in it to kind of slow things down. And, you know, if that's what you need to do, it's okay to do that. But you mentioned hidden nasties in food. I don't know what that is, but if you want to know if what you're experiencing is oxalates, you can definitely, I would say, get rid of the hidden nasties in the food and at least see whether or not your symptoms clear up or if they continue. Also, it's really hard to know for sure whether or not what you're experiencing is truly oxalate dumping. So we all have to kind of do this N=1 experiment because there are other things that can cause symptoms. So, but yeah, I would say absolutely get rid of the hidden nasties in your food and start with that and give that some time, give your body a chance to clear out and see whether or not your symptoms continue.
Yeah, and to add to that, Sally Norton in her book talks about if you're in terms of hidden nasties, if what you're talking about is oxalates in food, in her book she goes through a list of what basically the highest oxalate foods are, all the way down to the least, at least for the list that she provides. But I'm sure you could probably just Google this as well to see if there are any foods that you're eating that's contributing to the problem. But like Lynn said, you can, if you've eliminated everything that has oxalates and you're having oxalate dumping, you can throttle it by adding some foods that have oxalates in, like green tea or potentially black pepper.
Yeah, and if those help, if like the green tea helps, that's a really good indication that it is an oxalate dump. It could, if it doesn't help, it may be something. It may be histamines for all you know. There may be something else that you're detoxing.
All right. We're going to do a drawing for a Healing Humanity shirt in color blue right now. Here
Ashley, prepare the drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please.
Unmute for
the winner. The winner of a Healing Humanity shirt in color blue is Marion. Congratulations, Marion. You won a Healing Humanity shirt. How can Marion claim their prize?
Well, Kerry, Marion can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway, fill out the form, and Ashley will promptly send you your shirt. Congratulations. I'll put the link in the chat also.
All right. Congratulations. And we're going to do one more giveaway. And this one will be for a 30-day free membership to healinghumanity.life. Post your best question or your story of healing with #life. #life. We do 12 Zoom calls a week. We have our breaking addictions calls. We have doctors, experts, Q&A calls. We are a community to help you on your path to healing, all sorts of courses as well. If you don't win and you still want to join or have more questions, there's a promo code in the description below that'll get you 50% off your first month. #life. All right. Our next question is, can carnivore mess with your kidneys? What do you think on that one, Lynn?
Initially, when you go carnivore, there's an adjustment period with kidneys. And so you could see an increase in your creatinine. You can see a decrease in your glomerular filtration rate because your kidneys need to adapt and get efficient with breaking down and processing and utilizing the protein. Some people also see an increase in their uric acid. And so there is an initial adjustment because just like with everything with your body needs to adapt. But with that said, if you do see that initial change, it doesn't mean it's pathologic. So typically the BUN stays normal and your body will get really efficient with utilizing the protein and all the amino acids from the protein, and everything will stabilize. So there's so many people who have found healing from kidney disease. So the doctor will tell you that, oh my gosh, don't eat all that protein. It's going to be bad for your kidneys. But the actual science doesn't bear that out.
Good stuff. All right, Grace has a question. This is about carnivore and sleeping. I'm in my 9th month of strict carnivore, and I have a hard time going to sleep, even though I feel tired. I eat butter at night, and when I wake up in the night, any suggestions? Adam, what do you think on carnivore sleep?
Well, I myself personally haven't had any issues in this area, but I do know that carnivore can help with a lot of things. And when it comes to sleep, your pre-sleep routine, your sleep hygiene, if you will, is very important. If you're going through any stress at all, blue light can disrupt sleep. There's lots of different factors that can interrupt your sleep. So I definitely want to pass this on to one of y'all that have had issues with sleep. I know Kerry has. Lynn seems to have some from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, magnesium glycinate in the evening can be helpful for sleep. Obviously, melatonin can be helpful for sleep, but I absolutely agree. The sleep hygiene and getting getting the screens off. Also, to a lot of people, it's a cortisol thing, and so eating the fat is definitely helpful. But you can definitely incorporate breathing exercises that can help with your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the calming part of your nervous system. And I actually was able to go to sleep really easily when I did the Wim Hof breathing. I went on and got the YouTube video for a Wim Hof breathing cycle and did that while I was in bed. And man, that that put me to sleep in no time. So there's definitely a lot of strategies.
Yeah, great ideas. The only other thing I can think of, I've heard for some people, this wasn't for me, I never drank coffee, but for some people I've heard it's been coffee, and these people in particular were like, I hardly even drink any, or it's even hours before bed, but it seems like it's almost more potent when you're not having all of the carbs and other things maybe to dampen down some of the effects of having the coffee or caffeine, but that has been another one to maybe look into.
Not eating too late.
Well, and I have one thing to add. I mean, I know it's great that you're trying the butter, eating some fat before bedtime and when you wake up, but I'm wondering, how much are you eating during the day? Are you eating enough? Because a lot of times our bodies are looking for nourishment and we don't realize it. And, just kind of check out how much you're eating and just make sure that you're actually feeding your body what it wants.
Good stuff. All right. Here's a good question. Hashtag ribeye. Do any of you count calories? Why or why not? Maybe we'll just go around real quick. I don't count calories. Adam, do you?
I do not.
Lynn?
I don't count calories, but I do pay attention to the volume of food that I eat. And I didn't initially, because initially it was all about healing. And even though I was losing weight really well, it was mostly about healing. So I was mostly focused on nourishing my body. But now that I'm almost 3 years into it, I do pay attention to the volume that I eat. I don't technically count calories, but I just vary the volume of my food from day to day.
And what about you, Barb?
I don't count calories. I do pay attention to how much protein I'm getting and generally how much fat, just to make sure that I'm getting what my body needs. But no, I'm not into counting calories at all.
Ashley, you?
No, I don't either. And that's actually, that was one of the appeals with the carnivore diet when I first started, because that's something I'd tried before and I just couldn't keep up with. So that was very appealing to me. Just eat till I'm comfortably stuffed and stop when I'm full.
And I know we didn't really answer the why or why not part of the question. I just wanted to kind of throw something out there for that part of it. And for me, it's because my hunger and satiety signals kicked back in. Like I did not have them. They were not working before, but now I've definitely learned to pay attention. My body will tell me when I've had enough and it'll tell me when I'm hungry. And so that's a benefit of eating carnivore, is you don't necessarily have to be doing a lot of tracking. For most people, those signals will kick back in.
And I think it's just, I'm sorry, Kerry. I was just going to say that counting calories is kind of reminiscent of diet culture, of what, we were brought up on, and depending on how old you are, that was just something everybody counted. And I mean, calories not really a great measure of energy, is what we use. But I think it's really easy to get stuck on that and think, oh my goodness, we're eating too much or whatever. But like Lynn said, if you can learn to listen to your body, that will tell you when you've had the food that you need.
A lot of people go by like a metabolic rate, especially if you use a smart scale. It'll tell you, okay, this is your metabolic rate, but that's just where it happens to be right now. I mean, we get to where we're very inefficient with processing and using our food for fuel. And as you eat, like my metabolic rate started out, I think maybe somewhere around 1,300, maybe even less than that. It might have been more like 11, but it's now up to pushing 1,600 because my body is getting better, and it's like I can actually utilize the fuel. So how many calories do you need? It changes from day to day. So I think it's better to just learn to read your own hunger signals and adjust based on how you feel.
All right. Next question we have is from Krista. Krista asks, will carnivore help my 14-year-old son who suffers from a form of Tourette's syndrome? And does he need to be strict, or can he be ketovore?
Well, I've heard stories about people with Tourette's getting better. With a 14-year-old, I would be you got to work with what your child will do. It's really hard with teenagers, and I would definitely start with maybe educating him about why this will help work for him as far as getting the ketones in his system and using ketones for fuel, and see how well he can do with going at least keto and see what happens. And if he starts to see improvement, he may be self-motivated to restrict even further.
All right. And Jason asks, we'll shoot this one to Adam. Minimum amount of days to try carnivore to see improvements in brain or nerve health. 90 days or more, like 6 months? Question mark.
I think he's frozen.
Oh, Adam froze. Barb, are you there?
I'm not sure we can count on
I'm here. I think I'm here. Oh, he's there. Is he back?
No, that was me, Tom.
Adam?
Sorry.
Oh,
No,
okay.
We really lost
He's
him.
gone.
Wow.
Is he on the cruise ship too?
He's really gone. Okay, Kerry, so can you repeat the question, please?
Oh, sure. Minimum amount of days to try carnivore to see improvements in brain and nerve health. 90 days or more, like 6 months?
I would say a minimum of 90 days and probably 6 months, depending on what you're trying to heal. And I wish Adam could be on here, since he really has the experience in healing that brain trauma. I mean, I think you would most likely see benefits early on, but I think that if you've got a tremendous amount of healing, to be able to set a goal of maybe doing initially 90 days, but pushing to 6 months would be a good idea.
Yeah, and the key is high fat when it comes to trying to heal the brain and heal the nerves. Your myelin sheath of your nerves are very much made of fat, and so it's people that do higher fat, sometimes 80-85% fat. Now that's not by volume, that's by calories. That's what your body, your brain, and your nerves need to promote healing. Some people experience, I would say, starting to see improvement. I've heard people talk about it starting to see improvement fairly quickly. how long does it take to get to where you're going from maybe non-functional to functional? That can change. But a lot of people experience just the initial decrease in inflammation. A lot of people will see a lot of some improvement right out, maybe within the first 30 days.
Good stuff. All right, our next question from the Striking Viking. Can carnivore help with varicose veins? Love you guys. I don't know the answer to this one. You guys got any experience or thoughts on this one?
I feel like I've heard somebody that said they did. And whenever we hear questions like these, my first response is to go to YouTube and put in carnivore varicose veins or carnivore, traumatic brain injury or carnivore cancer, whatever, because you are going to find a story. So whether we've personally experienced it or not, you're going to find a story. So I wouldn't be surprised. It does help with your vascular system. And so from that perspective, your endothelium, which is the lining of your blood vessels, are going to be healthier eating carnivore than feeding it with all the carbs that break down into glucose.
I just did that tip and searched, and Dr. Berg has a video on that, on the varicose veins.
Who does?
Dr. Berg.
Dr. Berg. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I know that
I haven't watched it, so I don't know all the details, but it's very, I love that advice, because there's a lot of questions sometimes that are specific like that. And it's amazing how much good education, especially when you come across certain channels that you really learn to trust and know who it is. I mean, Dr. Barry usually has a video about just about anything. And obviously he's been a wealth of information on specific topics when you have those questions.
Right. And I mean, varicose veins are collateral vessels that develop. And so, I mean, those can happen anywhere in your body when there's pressure, damage, stiffening of your veins and arteries. This is what our body does as a defense. It produces collateral vessels. So whatever you're going to do as far as helping with your insulin resistance, lowering your insulin, lowering your blood sugar, helping your blood pressure, is going to help with the health of your whole vascular system. So I would expect to see some improvement with the varicose veins, but I would also imagine maybe not developing new ones.
All right. Adam's back. Adam, we had a question when you left. I want to run by you quick. They were asking about brain injuries and healing on carnivore.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they said 60 days or 6 months, or how long would you wait until you could expect to see some healing?
That's a great question. So mine completely resolved in 5 months, but everyone is different and we all have different levels of damage, and our metabolic health is in different places. So I have heard people that have had issues resolve taking as long as 2 years, and not really in a shorter time frame than what mine was. So but mine was, my brain injury was 6 years old, essentially, when I started the carnivore diet, which, it blew me away that it was even possible that that could happen, because they said it was permanent brain damage. I totally was not expecting it. I started a carnivore diet for an autoimmune condition. So I would, my opinion would be give it a minimum of 6 months, but I'd probably go more into a year or two of eating this way. And honestly, it's probably going to improve so many of the other things in your life that you're probably going to want to continue on it, regardless of whether or not that damage is healed, because it does take a long time to repair those nerves in most people. And some people here, Kerry, might argue that mine was never really fully healed.
You're at about 50%, but you're making progress.
Yeah.
No, joking aside, though, it's one of those things I always say, it should be front page news. It is absolutely incredible what will heal when you eat a proper human diet. You just get out of the way, you put the right fuel in the tank, and it's crazy. Like traumatic brain injuries healing. Like, how is that not front page news? It's just incredible. All right. Nancy Chandler, how's the weather in Wisconsin? It's cold and horrible, but thank you for asking. I'm a carnivore. I'm not complaining. It's beautiful.
You need to come
Beautiful
here.
white-
It was like 60 degrees here in Washington yesterday.
Nancy was enjoying the beautiful weather in San Diego, if I'm not mistaken, at our meetup.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we got to meet Nancy out in San Diego. Speaking of meetups, I know a lot of people jumped on since we started the call. I just want to shout it out one more quick time here. We're going to be in Charleston, South Carolina, February 21st, and we have big news. Dr. Kiltz and Dr. Nelson are also joining us. Mimi Morgan, who was diagnosed with Parkinson's. She had a stroke, rheumatoid arthritis. She was like bedridden for a while. Incredible story of healing. And of course, our friends Lynn and Ribeye Ranger Jim will be there as well. Lynn will be here. Our Lynn will be here. Adam will be there. So come and join us. Link in the description below, healinghumanity.movie/event.
I love Lynn and Jim. Best hugs. They give the great hugs. They're such the great energy.
Yeah.
Awesome people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be worth it just going to hang out with them.
Question, has anyone had a gastric sleeve and gone on carnivore? I don't know of anyone that has. You guys know of anyone?
Lindy, yeah.
Limbless Lindy. And I know our good friend Amy had gastric bypass and went on carnivore. So there are some, you have to, I would say, connect with other carnivores that have done this, because there's some little tweaks that they do to adapt. You definitely can't eat a whole lot at once. You have to eat more often. The amount of fat that you can have may vary. You don't want to be doing dumping, but I know that both of them have done really well on it and lost a lot of weight.
Yeah. And I remember that specifically, Lynn, exactly what you're talking about from Austin when we got to meet her in person, which was wonderful. But yeah, very small amounts, very slow, like just our meals would stretch over like 2 hours. But
yeah, and actually I don't know if she had the sleeve or the lap band, but either way, it was a bariatric procedure that makes her stomach really small.
Yep.
All right, we got #life. I am on day 33. I am producing good ketones and take extra salt, but I am tired and my heart is always racing. What can I do? Any suggestions?
I would wonder about other electrolytes, if you possibly may need to do a more well-rounded electrolyte and maybe take some magnesium, but the sodium, potassium, and magnesium combo, you may be missing one of those, especially in the first month. You do get rid of a lot of inflammation, and the way that happens is a lot of urination, and that just tends to deplete you of electrolytes. So I would say maybe consider a more well-rounded electrolyte and see if I would say start with maybe magnesium, maybe some magnesium glycinate. And if your symptoms don't resolve with that, you might want to look into histamines, because some people don't realize they have issues with histamines until they go carnivore and they start eating a lot of higher histamine foods. I know that my heart was always getting heart palpitations whenever I have too much histamine.
Yeah, I'd like to add to this. So they're on day 33. Chances are, I'm speculating here that they were eating a standard American diet prior to this. And a lot of people that are eating a standard American diet are actually nutrient deficient. So it's quite possible, like Lynn said, you need to have a more well-rounded electrolyte. You could be deficient in potassium or magnesium, and that's causing an imbalance, which will cause those types of issues. So definitely get some blood work done and maybe see where you're at, and that'll give you at least maybe some clues as to what's going on. You can get a lot of these tests are relatively inexpensive to figure these things out. So I definitely would start there, and yeah, that's what I got on that.
We got a sardine question. Where's Chris Stearns? We need our sardine specialist.
He's in the chat.
I'm going to buy sardines tomorrow. I'm interested in doing the sardine fast. My next 2 days off of work. Any advice on the sardine fast? I haven't done the sardine fast. I've tried them, but I've never done the fast. Anyone here done the sardine fast?
I haven't done the fast, but I I did introduce myself recently to sardines. I would say buy the sardines that are in water,
Yeah.
not in oil, and look on the back and make sure they're really sardines, because there are sardines that say sardine on the front of the package and you look on the back and it's a different type of fish. So I would say definitely, and so it may cost a little more to get the good quality one, but go for a good quality sardine. And for me, I had to end up eating them outside because they made my pregnant daughter sick. So realize that your house is going to smell like fish. But I did start out with sauteing them in butter, and because I was nervous and I didn't want to just eat them out of the can. So I would definitely recommend starting that way if you haven't had them before.
All right. And Patty says, I love your channel. Thank you for all you do. Well, thank you. I don't know if you're talking to me or there are multiple channels on here, but we all thank you.
It's got to be Barb. It's got to be Barb.
Gotta be Barb.
Yeah.
Bob said, anybody want to see the pants make an appearance in Charleston?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Bob.
Come on, Bob.
Butter makes your pants fall off.
Bob has an incredible story. Really, really inspiring.
For sure. Always welcome.
Okay. Here's one for Ashley. This is a good one. We run into a lot as carnivores. We find healing. We want others to find the healing. Rose from our Healing Humanity membership site says, I have friends that are so sick but will not hear of trying carnivore. Any advice when you have friends or loved ones that just won't listen?
That's so hard. That really is so hard, Rose, because you just want to help them so bad, and you want to. It's so hard when they won't listen to you. But you know, the best advice that I can give you is just be the example. You know, sometimes browbeating people over the head with carnivore, like Jen Man is doing right now, it just isn't the right answer. But you know, you want them to listen so much. But being a great example is definitely going to be there, and being there for their support. Occasional video links, occasional text messages of encouragement, things like that. Keep the information in front of them. And then the other advice I would give is see if there's somebody else. Maybe if you're not speaking to them in the language they need to hear, maybe they relate to somebody else. And I think that's really important. That's why I love channels like Emma's, who maybe another 16, 17, 18-year-old won't relate to Kerry's channel, but relates to Emma's because she's in that same age group, or you know, likes the same thing. So, you know, that's the other advice that I'd give is maybe find somebody else that maybe that they'd listen to a little bit better.
They maybe people don't listen to the doctor. Some people are like, I got to hear it from a doctor.
Yep.
You know, but
I've got something for this one, Rose. We filmed a documentary for this very purpose. Yes. So it's very close. You can actually probably buy a ticket very soon and go to a theater near you with your family members, and they won't be hit over the head with science. They're going to be inspired with a very powerful and emotional stories of healing. And I've watched it 7 times, the latest cut. And I'm telling you, it's going to make a huge impact on society. I truly, truly believe that. So
amazing.
Stay tuned.
I had an answer too, but Adam's was better than mine, so we'll move on.
Right? That was the best.
I agree with what Adam said. Can't wait for you guys to see it. No, I'll just add real quick, Rose. The only other thing I was going to say was you can have some peace and comfort too in knowing, like, hey, you said your piece and that's it. Like, you did the best you can. And sometimes people will eventually come around. But in either case, come take them to see Healing Humanity too, because that'll do it as well.
Bring your Kleenex.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my dad, I mean, you know, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit at the Kilts meetup too, that we've had over 2,400 individual donors for this Healing Humanity documentary project, which is absolutely astounding, right? But the reason that we feel that these people gave this money is because they were so inspired by this way of eating that they wanted to support a project that was going to create something that they could bring their family members to or share it with them that would inspire them to make a change. And we really feel like, at least after watching it 7 times so far, and I'm going to keep going, that.
Oh, he froze.
I agree with what Adam
Why
said.
people?
Oh, there he goes.
Yes, I'm back. So we really feel like we have adhered to the spirit of why people actually donated. That not we, John, our editor, he's absolutely incredible, and he's put together something that is going to be so incredibly powerful and honor all of those people that have actually donated. So we can't wait for that.
Yeah, well said. I was just going to say it. And John, if you're watching this, go back to work. We're this close. John's working like 20 hours a day to wrap this thing up for us. So we're just about there. All right. Well, we're near the end of the hour. Let's do the drawing for the Healing Humanity.
Can I answer one more question?
Sure.
There's one about histamines.
There we go. Yeah. Any suggestions on help with histamine intolerance? Every time I eat, I get a reaction, runny nose, itchy eyes, itchy face. It's gotten worse. Any help would be great.
So I would say, first of all, you can go to my channel, Midlife Carnivore, and look up my histamine video. I did a very, very thorough video on eating a low histamine carnivore diet. And I go into a lot of detail in that video. But I would say, if you need to take antihistamines for a while, you may just need to do that, because if you're experiencing a lot of histamine issues, maybe your mast cells are really hyperreactive. You may need to take an H1 and H2 blocker for a little while just to get them to settle down, because right now your body it sounds like it's very hyperreactive, but you could do that in combination with learning what is higher histamine when it comes to carnivore and what's not. And sometimes it's seasoning, sometimes it's the freshness of the food, sometimes it's the egg whites. So I would say check out my video. Don't hesitate to connect with me if you need extra help.
Love it. Awesome. All right. Here we go. We're giving away a Healing Humanity 30-day free membership. Drum roll, please. The winner of a Healing Humanity membership for 30 days is John Wayne 7564. Adam, how can John Wayne claim his prize?
Well, Kerry, John Wayne can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway, fill out the form, and Lynn will send you your code promptly. Congratulations.
Congratulations. And if you didn't win, 50% off right now, your first month. healinghumanity.life, special link in the description below. This has been great. Thank you, Adam, Lynn, Barb, and Ashley. Do you guys got anything big coming up before we wrap things up?
Got a trip to South Carolina coming up.
Coming up.
Yep. But I definitely want to just kind of put in a little extra pitch for healinghumanity.life. We spend a lot of time on there with you guys. And when we do these Q&As on Kerry's channel, it's awesome. But we have live Q&As that you can join. And it really gives us an opportunity to have the conversation with you. And so sometimes it's hard to answer questions when all we get is a comment. But we started this site because we anticipate from the documentary there's going to be a lot of people that need help and support. And so a good portion of the proceeds from the membership fees go to support the project. So it's also a really good way to help support us. But we would love to have you guys on our membership site, and so we can actually get to know you better too.
Absolutely. One last time, Healing Humanity, Charleston, South Carolina, possibly with Bob Pop Beater with his pants coming too. So come join us. Link in the description below. And thank you guys all so much for your wonderful questions. We will see you next week, Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye for now.
Good night.